Bong was 24 years old, and everyone who knew her in real life agreed on one thing. She was just an ordinary girl. She was not ugly, but she was not also the kind of girl that people would turn their heads twice to admire. She lived in Uyo with her aunt, Mama Ini, who sold smoked fish in the markets and complained daily about how expensive everything had become. Their small bungalow had a zinc roof that rattled whenever rain poured, and Bong's room was no bigger than a store, with one mirror hanging on the wall that always reminded her of her pimples, her acne scars, and the small gap between her teeth that she hated so much. However, online, Bong was a goddess. With just one tap on a filter app, her skin would turn flawless like glass. Her nose would become sharp like a pencil. Her cheeks would glow. Her eyes would sparkle, and her waist would look smaller than the neck of a bottle. She would spend hours editing her pictures until she looked like the kind of model that belonged in Lagos billboards. By the time she posted them on Instagram with captions like "soft life only" or "my piece is expensive," the comments would flood in from men and women alike, telling her how beautiful she was. "Black Baddie, you're too fine," one follower would comment. "Queen, you're the future," another would add. Even strangers she didn't know would send her direct messages begging for her attention. Bong loved those comments because they gave her the confidence she never had in real life. In the house, Mama Ini would complain that she was lazy and always pressing phone instead of helping with the fish business. Around her, women her age were getting married or building businesses, but she was still depending on her aunt for fufu money. Well, online, she was untouchable. Nobody saw the small plastic chair she sat on while taking selfies. Nobody smelled the fufu she had been pounding in the backyard. Nobody heard Mama Ini's voice shouting, "Bong, remove that pot from fire before it burns again." So, her Barbie life was intact. One evening, as she was lying on her bed scrolling through comments, she received a message that made her heart skip. It was from a man named Ola. His profile picture showed a tall, handsome young man in a clean white shirt, standing beside a shiny car. She clicked his page and almost dropped her phone. He was not just anybody. He worked in an oil company in Port Harcourt. He traveled often, posted pictures in hotels and restaurants, and he even had pictures standing inside airports with captions like "another deal closed, on to the next one." Ola's message to her was simple but direct. "Hi beautiful, I love the way you carry yourself. Can we be friends?" Bong's chest warmed immediately. She took a screenshot of the message and ran to show her friend who lived 2 streets away. "CEO, oil company man has messaged me." Looked at the picture and exclaimed, "Ah, this one is fine. Oh, he even looks serious. Don't play with this chance." Bong's fingers shook as she typed her reply. "Hello dear, thank you for the compliments. Yes, we can be friends." And from that day, the messages never stopped. Ola would send her good morning notes, pictures of his lunch, and voice notes saying, "I hope you are eating well, my queen." He told her he was tired of fake women and wanted a real one. And Bong melted every time he said it. She told him small truths mixed with plenty exaggerations. She didn't say she lived in Lekki. She was not that careless. But she told him she rented her own apartment in Uyo and ran a small beauty business. In reality, she was living in her aunt's house. But whenever they did video call, she made sure to set her camera properly in the one corner of her room that looked neat, with a flower sticker on the wall to make it appear fancy. She would put full makeup on and then use a soft light from an app on her phone to hide her scars. She practiced her smiles in front of the mirror before picking his calls. Whenever he asked her what she ate, she would laugh and say, "I'm a pizza and pasta kind of girl. I don't really like heavy food like fufu." Meanwhile, she had just finished swallowing a mountain of fufu and afang soup in the backyard with her bare hands. Mama Ini noticed how often she smiled at her phone nowadays, and one evening she asked her, "Imobong, who is keeping you awake till midnight? Every day you are pressing phone and laughing like a mad person. If you like, don't go and find a job. When your battery dies, you will know reality." But Imobong only grinned. "Auntie, don't worry. Very soon I will shock you." And truly, in her mind, she believed her life was about to change. Ola was kind, generous with words and rich. She told herself, "If I play my cards well, this man will marry me and I will leave this house. No more pounding fufu and no more being called lazy. I will finally live the life I post online." And so, Imobong was now floating around the house like someone who had swallowed helium. She sang while sweeping, smiled while pounding pepper, and she even obeyed Mama Ini without arguments. The neighbors noticed the change and asked, "Imobong, what happened? Did you finally get a job?" But she only laughed mysteriously and said, "God has remembered me." Ola was different from all the boys who used to disturb her inbox with "Hi Ango" and "Send me your picture." He typed full sentences and showed genuine concern about her. One night, he sent her a voice note that made her press the phone to her chest. "Imobong, I don't know why, but talking to you feels refreshing. In this world full of pretenders, you are real. I can feel your heart. I must see you soon." Imobong almost screamed. She wanted to shout, "If only you knew how fake my face is." But instead, she typed carefully, "I feel the same way, Ola. Meeting you will be my greatest joy." Ola wasn't stingy either. After 2 weeks of meeting, he sent her a surprise 50,000 naira. The alert nearly made her faint. She had never seen that much money at once in her account before. "Queen, use this to buy yourself something nice," he texted. Imobong screamed, jumped on the bed and danced. Mama Ini rushed in, worried. "What killed my daughter?" Imobong shoved the phone in her face. "Auntie, see alert, 50,000. Mama Ini blinked like someone in shock. "Where did it come from? Imobong, don't let me hear that you joined Yahoo." "No, Auntie, it is Ola. He said I should spoil myself." Mama Ini sighed heavily and muttered, "These days, men don't give without reason. Be very careful." But in her heart, she was calculating how much fish she could buy if she borrowed the money. Well, the money came at a cost though. Ola began to ask deeper questions. "So, where exactly do you live in Uyo? What do you do every day? What's your favorite meal?" Imobong panicked. She could not tell him the full truth, that she was living in her aunt's house, cooking fufu daily and waiting for destiny to shine. Instead, she crafted half-truths. "I live in Shelter Africa Axis," she wrote, naming a part of Uyo that sounded classy, even though she lived very far from it. "I run a small beauty business," she added, without explaining that the business only existed in her Instagram captions. As for food, "I like light meals, salads, pasta, grilled fish, pizza. I'm not really a swallow person." Meanwhile, just that evening, Imobong had devoured 5 wraps of fufu with edikaikong soup until her stomach begged for mercy. Unfortunately, the drama escalated when Ola suddenly said, "I'll be coming to Uyo soon. We are opening a new branch here and I'll stay for a week. This is the perfect chance to see you in person." Imobong nearly dropped her phone. She started pacing the room like a restless goat. Meeting Ola was her dream, but how would she keep her secrets? She had no saloon, no fancy apartment, and no salad lifestyle. She was scared of being exposed, but she couldn't say no either. On their next phone call, she still pretended, "Ola, that's wonderful. I can't wait to see you." He beamed. "Good, I will book us dinner at a 5-star hotel. Don't worry, I'll take care of everything. Just come looking like the queen that you are." After the call ended, Imobong collapsed on the bed sweating, looking like a queen. Oh God, how will I do it? Even the only wig I have is already tired. If breeze blows, it will fly. Her friend, came over when she heard the news, but instead of comforting her, she laughed until her stomach hurts. So, the salad life you've been forming has now come to meet you face to face. You better start packaging yourself, because if that man sees you eating fufu with two hands, he will just faint. Imobong buried her face in her pillow and groaned. This love is sweet online, but bitter offline. God, help me. That night, she didn't sleep. She kept scrolling through her pictures, comparing the filtered beauty on Instagram with the raw reflection in her mirror. She could not even breathe without hearing his voice echoing in her head. Just come looking like the queen that you are. Queen? I beg, which queen? She stared at her reflection and muttered, if this is the queen, I pity the kingdom. The following morning, she stormed into MM's house like a soldier on an emergency assignment. We are finished, she announced. Who was spreading clothes on the line, looked up. We? Did Allah propose to both of us? Imobong ignored her sarcasm. It's next week now. This next week, I must look like my pictures. Help me. Burst into laughter. You mean you must look like your filters rather? My dear, unless you enter bleach, buy ring lights and carry it everywhere, you are finished. But Imobong was not joking, and she was not going to accept defeat. So she pulled out a notebook she had labeled Project Packaging and began listing tasks as if she was planning a presidential inauguration. Number 1, buy new wig. Number 2, do facials to clean pimples. Number 3, rent clothes from boutique. Number 4, borrow handbag from Number 5, starve for 1 week to look slimmer. Number 6, pray Allah's eyes are not too sharp. Looked over her shoulder and giggled. You are serious, but this your number 5, starving, lie, it will not work. You that cannot resist fufu for 1 day, you will just faint on the road now. Imobong hissed. It is better to faint than for Allah to see me looking round like melon. I must suffer small now to enjoy later. And so, the madness began. Imobong raided boutiques around town, pretending she wanted to test dresses for an event. She borrowed high heels from another friend, insisting, I will return it after my photo shoot. She even took a small loan from a Shylock woman in the market to buy a human hair wig that cost more than her aunt's monthly fish sales. Her aunt, Mama Ini, almost collapsed when she saw the price tag. Imobong, are you mad? You are buying wig of 70,000 naira when you cannot even contribute to house rent. Are you the one marrying Ola or he's marrying you? Imobong pleaded. Auntie, don't worry. Investment must be made before harvest comes. But Mama Ini wagged her finger. If you like, invest until they arrest you. One day, the truth will come out. You cannot use powder to cover your true character forever. Meanwhile, Imobong forced herself into a crash diet. She announced to everyone who cared to listen that she would no longer eat heavy food. Her breakfast was cucumber, lunch was 1 apple, and dinner was 1 miserable digestive biscuit like that. However, when midnight came, her stomach would roar like a generator and she would sneak into the kitchen, mold out fufu and swallow it in the dark. Caught her one night and burst out laughing. So, this is your slimming program. Queen by day, fufu warrior by night. Imobong pressed a finger to her lips and whispered furiously, Shh! If Ola calls and hears me swallowing fufu, I am finished. By Friday, Imobong's room looked like a war camp. Wigs, clothes, shoes, creams, and makeup kits were scattered everywhere. She also practiced walking in heels, but because she was not used to them, she staggered like a wounded goat. She watched YouTube videos on how to contour her nose to look sharper And she even hired a photographer to take filtered candid pictures of her sipping juice in a rented hotel lounge so that she could keep feeding Ola the illusion of her soft life. The pressure nearly drove her mad. At one point, she collapsed on her bed, sweating, and muttered to herself, "Why did I even start this lie? Why did I not just say I love Fufu and live in Mama Ini's house? Now, see me suffering like a slave." But whenever Ola sent her a sweet message, her determination returned. "My queen, I cannot wait to hold your hands and look into your eyes," she would reply with trembling hands. "Me too, Ola. The thought of you makes my heart beat faster." And then Ola's message came on a Tuesday afternoon. "My queen, I'm in Uyo. I checked into Monty Suits. Can I see you this evening?" Imobong nearly dropped her phone into the pot of soup she was stirring for Mama Ini. She screamed so loudly that her aunt rushed in with fish still on her hands. "What killed you, Imobong?" Imobong's lips trembled. "He's here. Ola is here in Uyo, in Monty Suits." Mama Ini gave her one long look and said, "Good. Now we will see if Instagram filters can still save you. My dear, remember, love is not photo editing." Then she walked out, leaving Imobong shaking like fufu on fire. She called immediately. Emergency. He wants to see me this evening. This evening, oh, which means I only have 3 hours to transform. Laughed so hard that she almost fell off her stool. "Congratulations. The exam you've been avoiding since JAMB has finally come. Better start revising your notes." So, by evening, after layers of foundation, contour, lashes and wig straightening, Imobong looked like an expensive mannequin. She borrowed Mm's golden bag and squeezed her feet into the 5-inch heels that had been tormenting her all week. She could barely walk, but she told herself, "Endure, my dear, endure for love." At exactly 7:30 p.m., she entered the hotel lobby. Ola was already waiting, dressed in a clean shirt and jeans, with his perfume spreading like gospel. When his eyes fell on her, he smiled, but his brows twitched slightly, like someone trying to compare two pictures. "You look different," he said slowly as he stood to give her a hug. Imobong laughed nervously. "Different good or different bad?" Ola smiled again. "Different natural." Imobong almost collapsed. "Natural? After painting my face like a duplex?" But she smiled wider. "I take that as a compliment." They sat at the table and Ola ordered pizza, chicken wings and salad. Imobong's heart sank. She had practiced all week, but one slice of pizza still made her mouth twist like bitter leaf. She poked at it politely and chewed slowly as Ola talked about his work. Then he paused and observed her. "You are so quiet. Is anything the matter?" Imobong giggled nervously. "No, I just like to eat like a lady." However, the real problem began when a waiter walked past carrying steaming plates of fufu and afang soup to another table. The aroma slapped Imobong's nose like a thunderbolt. Her eyes widened and, before she could stop herself, she leaned slightly, sniffing the air like a dog that had just caught the scent of bone. Ola noticed and chuckled. "Do you want fufu instead?" Imobong sat upright quickly. No, fufu? Me? I don't even eat heavy food at night. I'm a clean eater." But her stomach betrayed her with a loud growl that made the waiter turn. Ola laughed and shook his head. "Don't worry. I like women who eat. Order what you want." But Imobong stubbornly refused and continued nibbling salad leaves as if they were poison. However, later that night, after he dropped her along the estate she pointed at and promised to see her the next day, hunger overpowered her shame. She sneaked to a roadside buka, sat with reckless abandon and devoured 4 wraps of fufu with okra soup, licking her fingers joyfully. Unfortunately, her village people had stamped her fate because as she raised the last ball of fufu to her mouth, she heard a familiar voice behind her. Imobong! She froze and held the fufu in the air like a guilty child. Imobong slowly turned and almost vanished when she saw Ola standing there, staring at her in disbelief. His eyes moved from her belly to her oily fingers to the mountain of fufu disappearing on her plate. Ola, she whispered. I can explain. Ola burst into laughter so loud that even the buka owner shouted, Customer, beg, keep it down. He wiped his eyes and shook his head. Queen, this is the most beautiful unmasking I have ever seen. From pizza girl to fufu champion. Imobong wanted the ground to open up and swallow her. She dropped the fufu, but Ola pulled out his phone and took a short video of her. Don't hide though, this is the real you, and honestly, I like it better. Imobong stared at him speechless, torn between shame and indigestion. She had packaged so much, but here she was, exposed by soup and swallow. That night, as she lay in bed, she prayed into her pillow. Lord, I have been disgraced. If this man doesn't run away tomorrow, it will be a miracle. The next day, Imobong tried to avoid Ola. She didn't answer his calls in the morning and she didn't even reply to his text. She just sat in her room sulking. Came over and found her lying face down on the bed. What happened? Did he propose or did he run? Imobong groaned into her pillow. He caught me. I was in the buka eating fufu carelessly. He laughed at me, He laughed like thunder. Slapped her thigh and burst into laughter. Hey! So after all your packaging, Fufu has finally revealed you, a queen undone by Fufu. Imobong buried her face deeper. Don't laugh at me. My reputation is finished. However, Ola didn't disappear immediately. That afternoon, he sent her a message. Let's meet tonight. We need to talk properly. No pretense. Just you and me. Imobong's stomach turned. She almost replied, no thank you, but curiosity won. She tried to convince herself that maybe he was still interested and maybe he wanted to forgive her. She told who raised her brows, go now, but prepare yourself for if he insults you, hold your tears, you will cry at home, not in public. That evening, they met again, not in a hotel but at a small open-air garden where people ate, drank and gossiped. Imobong arrived looking simple in jeans and blouse without heavy makeup, just lip gloss. She had decided, let him see the real me. If he doesn't like it, then I'm done. Ola looked at her quietly when she arrived. Then he smiled. This is better. At least I can see your real face. But the peace didn't last. After a few minutes of small talk, he leaned forward. Imobong, why did you lie to me? Why pretend you don't eat fufu when clearly you love it more than air? Why act like you run a business when you don't? Why show me hotel pictures when you don't even own a room? Imobong's eyes became teary. Because I was afraid. I thought you wouldn't want me if you saw the real me. I thought my life was too ordinary. I wanted to be perfect. Her voice broke off and she started crying. Unfortunately, the garden was full of people and some of them had already noticed the argument. A group of young men sitting at a nearby table pulled out their phones and whispered, is that not the Instagram Baddie, Black Baddie? She's crying, oh, record it, record it. One man zoomed in just as Ola's voice rose. Imobong, you deceived me. Do you know how embarrassing it is to tell my friends about my Barbie queen, only to find you eating fufu greedily at a roadside buka? The onlookers gasped, then burst into laughter. Someone shouted, so this is Fufu Barbie. Nashi chai. Imobong felt utterly mortified. She covered her face with her hands. Please stop. People are looking. But it was too late. The phones kept recording and within hours, the videos hit social media. One caption read, from Black Barbie to Fufu Queen, Catfisher caught in Uyo. The comment section exploded. Chai! Na Fufu betray her destiny. Even filter no fit save this one, oh. At least she's eating in this Nigerian economy with confidence. Imobong's followers dropped overnight, and brands that had promised her free clothes stopped replying. Her inbox was flooded with mockery. One message read, "Madam Filter, how much is fufu by Paint Rubber?" Another one said, "Next time at least eat the fufu with dignity." Back at home, Mama Ini didn't spare her either. She waved a fishbone in her face and said, "Did I not warn you? Fake life is like a wrapper with no knots. One tiny breeze and it will open in public." Imobong cried for 3 nights straight. Her room felt like a prison and her phone felt like handcuffs. She wanted to delete her account, but she couldn't. Something in her whispered, "Your story is not finished. Shame is not the end." But at that moment, all she could feel was the sting of humiliation. It got worse that for 1 whole week, Imobong could not leave the house. The mocking video of her in the buka eating fufu had spread beyond Uyo. Even her distant cousin in Lagos sent her a voice note laughing. "Imobong, so you that was forming Black Baddie on Instagram, you are Fufu Queen in real life? God is wonderful." Every time she saw herself on someone's WhatsApp status as a meme, she buried her face in her pillow and screamed. The worst part was the betrayal of her own followers. People who once called her goddess now called her swallower of destinies. Mama Ini didn't even help matters at all. Every time she passed her door, she would shake her head and say, "If you had spent half the time you used to filter your face on learning tailoring or catering, by now you would have been a very big madam. But you chose fake life, and fake life has flogged you publicly." Still, something strange began to happen. After a few days of silence, she noticed that some comments under the viral video were different. Not everyone was mocking her. Some women wrote, "This girl is like me. I also use filter because I hate my skin." Others added, "At least she eats what she loves in private. I am tired of pretending I like pizza when I am dying for swallow." Another comment followed. "Why is no one even saying anything about the man who took the video, as if she committed a crime? Abeg shift jare, he is not even worth it." Those comments stirred something inside her, and then one evening, she summoned her courage, opened Instagram and typed, "Yes, I am the girl in the video. Yes, I love fufu. And yes, I used filters because I thought I wasn't clean enough. But no more lies. This is me, my scars, my flaws, fufu and all. If you want perfect, please unfollow me. But if you want real, then stay." She posted it with an unfiltered selfie of her face, with all the pimples visible, her natural gap tooth showing, and her cornrows in its natural form. She trembled after pressing post, but instead of insults, honest comments began to pour in. "Wow, finally someone real. You're beautiful like this, Jo. Thanks for being honest. We need more of this." Her followers count dropped sharply, but the ones who stayed were genuine, and from then on, she began posting simple videos showing how she cooked afang soup, how she tied her hair into a bun for markets, how she balanced small self-esteem struggles with humor. And to her surprise, those videos gained more shares than her edited glamour shots ever did. Meanwhile, Ola reached out again. He asked to meet, this time without drama. They met in a restaurant. He looked at her and confessed, "Imobong, I was harsh. I just felt deceived. You made me think you were someone else." Imobong sighed. "I know. I was scared you wouldn't like the real me. I just didn't trust myself enough." He nodded slowly. "I like the real you, but trust, once broken, is not easy to fix." Imobong understood. The romance ended there. There was no grand reconciliation and no happy ever after. But for once, she didn't cry. She felt strangely light, as if she had been released from a prison she built with her own hands. And then the unexpected happened 2 weeks later. A local restaurant owner known for his massive plates of swallow sent her a DM. "Madam Fufu Queen, please come and do small adverts for my place. People like you will bring customers. Let them see you enjoying fufu proudly." At first, Imobong hesitated, then she laughed. The same Fufu that disgraced her was now opening doors. She agreed, recorded a funny video of her eating fufu, and it went viral again, but this time in her favor. One night, as she and Mama Ini sat outside eating together, Mama Ini shook her head. "So, after all this wahala, it is fufu that brought you real fame, Imobong. Your story will be used to warn other girls." Imobong laughed and dipped her hand into the soup. "Yes, so auntie, but at least this time it is the truth." Thank you for watching the story. Kindly share your thoughts about the story with me in the comment section. Give the story a thumbs up and share the story out with your loved ones. Subscribe to this channel if you've not done so by now. Until I bring another story your way. Bye!